So I think what I take out of all this is you'd rather pay $23.5 million for a second wide receiver than you would for a guy that can rush a passer.
For a second defensive end.
For a second defensive end.
Now, you're doing it only for 1 year. Keenan Allen is got 1 year left before his UFA. I would not think, I do not know this for certain. I tried asking around a little bit best I could, just if my assumption or opinion was right. I would not think that Keenan Allen is in the Bears' long-term plans. I don't think there's going to be some sort of contract restructuring. And he turns 32 in April.
All you've got to do is sign a 2-year contract extension to make this number more palatable.
You could.
I'm under the assumption that's what's going to happen.
You are.
Yes. But Keenan Allen's got to agree to it, first of all. And it's got to be very, very favorable to Keenan Allen.
Would you consider if they did that long-term plans, or would that just, I don't think he's signing some sort of 4 or 5 year extension with the Bears. He's certainly not in their long-term plans.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Beyond this year, maybe
I don't
next.
think anybody wants him here at 35.
Right, exactly. He turns 32 in April.
Yeah, so at 35, no. 32, 33, 34, yes, and probably even 34, you're probably moving on from it at that point. You gave up another draft choice.
Let me ask you this.
I get it. It only took a 4th rounder to get Keenan Allen, but you helped the Chargers get money off their books, which is what they're looking to do.
Let me ask you a question, Yerk, on the money and just the idea of all this. And I think it's important to probably note that we're not privy to all the conversations that Ryan Poles and his people are having.
Sure.
Maybe they were in on Calvin Ridley. I don't know. They were in on Gabe Davis. Maybe they were in on Calvin Ridley. If you're willing to spend this kind of money, why wouldn't you try to get a younger Calvin Ridley where you didn't have to give up draft pick compensation? You know what I mean?
Well, it takes 2 to tango. You've got to have a partner in Calvin Ridley.
Fair.
If he's going to come to Chicago, you got to have
Maybe
a
you
partner.
talk to the Bears. He's like, nah, I don't like your situation. I'm going to Tennessee.
Right. You wouldn't have to give up draft choice.
You would not.
Right.
Now, it's also a longer term. Again, this is 1 year for Keenan Allen. But I like the way you framed it. You're willing to pay your second wide receiver for this year $24 million, but you weren't willing to pay your second defensive end that. And I'll tell you, I've always appreciated Keenan Allen. Always.
As have I.
Keenan Allen in a Bear uniform, I think it was Brad Biggs wrote this morning. This is clearly the best wide receiver duo they've had since Alshon and B. Marsh. Clearly. And it's not even close.
Yes.
This they both stay healthy. This will be, arguably the best Bear duo.
Now you just need somebody to throw him the ball.
True.
Okay? Somebody throw him the ball. But it's a steep hit.
But
it's a steep hit.
I still I have no idea what ultimately the rest of this offseason holds for Ryan Poles and the Bears. And so we can't make any sort of determination, I guess, until things happen. But I will just go ahead and say this right now. If we get to draft night and Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze is there at 9 and the Bears pass because they traded for Keenan Allen, that's incredibly short-sighted. I wouldn't expect that to happen, but if it does, that's a problem.
What if you've gone through the scenario where you believe all 3 wide receivers are going to be gone? 3 quarterbacks gone, 3 wide receivers gone. If anything, it guarantees you that one. You all right?
Yeah.
It guarantees you that one of the wide receivers is gone. Marvin Harrison's gone. Mm-hmm. And then either Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze should be gone also because you're anticipating the Chargers are going to take them.
Is that what is that sort of how
That's what
you
I see.
Seen this going?
I
if
see
you're the
this
Bears?
going 100% correct. Yes. It's exactly how I see it.
So that's why this is a good stab right now, and you can maybe find a wide receiver later in the draft in a very deep draft.
No. I see it only going there. I think the Bears anticipate it going this way.
Yeah, okay. That's what I mean.
The Bears anticipate. I don't anticipate it. But if the Bears are thinking, hey, we're not getting one of the top 3, we're going to be at 9, we can move down, we can get our pass rusher, inexpensive pass rusher that way. Your receiver or your pass rusher was going to be inexpensive this year. They chose to pay Keenan Allen or to pick up the contract for Keenan Allen and trade for him. So they decided their second wide receiver was going to win. They're going to pay, and it's a short-term contract, obviously. But you gave up a 4th-round pick for a guy just to rent him for 1 year?
Yeah, that's what it kind of...
If you don't re-sign him,
Again, I don't know that he's in their long-term plans at 32.
Do you want a 33-year-old, 34-year? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. And obviously, they'll be working on it because he's due $5 million on Sunday. You know that, right?
That's the roster
bonus due
Yeah.
March 17th, 2024. I believe so.
That's your roster bonus.
If I saw the spot rack thing correctly, that's what it's saying. So you're giving him $5 million, then you give him $18 million during the year.
Yes.
So if you don't start working now on lowering that number, you're already going to have $5 million counting toward this year.
The roster bonus is due on Sunday.
Sunday, yes. And the Bears are responsible for that roster bonus. So there's 5. Then it's 18 and change during the year.
18-1.
Yeah.
For a cap hit of 23-1 for 2024.
Yes.
The roster bonus is due Sunday. You've got 48 hours.
So I imagine they're maneuvering right now to talk to him for a 2-year contract extension. That's what I feel. So it's this year he's going to get paid. They'll convert a bunch of that $18 million into a signing bonus, maybe a roster bonus coming into next year again at the beginning of the year.
If he was unwilling to do that in L.A., why would he be willing to do it here? Just a question I'm asking because you know about this stuff. You know how these negotiations go.
Because you're never willing to do it for the team that you've already performed at a high level for, and you'd be more willing to do it for somebody else.
Okay.
That's why.
Like, I'll prove it. They just traded me to you. Now I'll prove it. I'm still good.
Again, though, they got to wet his beak. They may have wanted to do it at their numbers. He's going to want to do it at his numbers, the way his people want it formulated.
Wet his beak.
Yeah. He wants his money.
Great term.
Right.
Oh, man.
Because if you say you extend him 3 years, so that's 3 more years you can extend a signing bonus over, and you were to give him $24 million in that signing bonus, and then you were going to lower his base salary this year to $4 million. That's $28 million this year that he ends up getting paid. Mm-hmm. Or
more than he would normally
$30 million. It'd be more than $23 million that he had made.
Right, more than he normally would have made.
So there you go. You give him $7 million more to go ahead and extend the contract for 2 years, and then at some point you want to get the hell out of it.
I like the idea.
That cap number would be down. That's the point.
I like the idea of DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Just like video game stuff, it's great. I mean, they're two terrific. Look, Keenan Allen.
Fantasy league stuff. This is great.
It's still, that doesn't mean that it's not a little head scratching on like how this is gone. You know, you traded a 5th-round pick for a backup offensive lineman. You're trading a 4th-round pick for a soon-to-be 32-year-old, even though he's coming off maybe his best year. He's still 32, and he's had a little bit of an injury history when you look back at his career. He's also had 97-plus catches in 6 of the last 7 seasons. The guy's got a 69.1 catch percentage on all targets in his career. That's great. He's got 59 career touchdowns. He's been a terrific player. It's a little head scratching.
What is Keenan Allen not now? He's not a guy that's going to go deep.
No, he never really has been.
He's a possession, never has been.
Possession guy.
11.5 yards, 12 yards tops per catch.
Yes.
That's what he is.
He's a possession receiver.
He's a possession receiver.
Great
That's
hands.
what you've got. Yes.
And maybe the idea, Yerk, is we've got DJ Moore. We want a player like Keenan Allen that's going to help, we're assuming, a young quarterback. Maybe a lot of it makes sense in that regard.
And if you hear the word route runners, who are the best route runners? Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen. You know, you got yourself a little bit of a consensus there.
Yeah.
So you got yourself one hell of a route runner. He's going to be where you want him to be when you're supposed to be there.
Like, a quarterback can depend on him. I agree with all that. And maybe that's the plan. There seems to be, from the draft experts, if we want to call them that, there seems to be a pretty big drop-off in terms of talent after round 4. Maybe Ryan Poles is being brilliant here. He's like, you know what? We don't need picks in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round this year. There's not a lot that we love. We still have one 4th-round pick. I'm speaking as Ryan Poles right now.
Which 4th rounder did they give away?
They gave up theirs. They kept Phillies. They gave up the better one.
They gave up the better one.
They gave up the better one. So the Bears pick 1, 9, 75, and 122. And that's it. As of now, that is it. They have 4 picks, but maybe he's being brilliant about all this. Like, there's not a ton of talent after the top 120, 125, and he's content. Maybe he still figures he's got some maneuverability to add draft capital with that 9th pick if the receivers are gone, like you said. It's interesting. It's curious. It's interesting. Like, I don't know. I feel mostly good about it because I like Keenan Allen so much, but it's still a little head-scratching. I got to be honest.
Say that move back goes from 9 to 15. I think you're getting something. You're getting a 2nd round. You know what I'm saying? I think you're getting something. something of ilk. If somebody's willing to make that move, if somebody wants to jump up there. But then you've got to have a belief. There's no way in the world with that second pick in the first round, they are not going with an edge guy.
I don't know.
They have to.
But what?
They cannot leave that opposite edge of Sweat alone.
Yeah. This was my issue last year with them and the way they attacked free agency with that defense and the things that they neglected. 312-332-3776. Bears fans already lining up.
Not happy.
It's very interesting.
Happy,
to say
not
the least.
happy?
Yeah, happy, not happy, yay, nay.
Jimmy Mack's got an interesting theory.
It's weird how I can't. I'm not doing a good job of summing up how or like expressing how I feel about it because I'm not sure I know. It's weird. I think Keenan Allen's a terrific player. It still seems odd to me that the Bears did this. Maybe it's a stroke of genius. I do like the idea of having a handsy, like you said, great route runner, good hands, dependable when he's on the field, like a young kid. Let's just say it's Caleb Williams, whomever it is, a young quarterback can trust him, rely on him. He's got DJ on one side. He's got Keenan Allen on the other. I like the idea of like really supporting a young quarterback that's going to go through some ups and downs. Maybe that's the brilliant stroke of genius in all this. I hope it doesn't come at the expense of potentially hitting a home run, though, in the first round with someone like Neighbors or Odunze. But maybe they've read the board, like you said, Yerk, and they're like, you know what? They're not going to be there. And we'll get one of the other receivers late in a deep draft, and we'll trade out of 9, and we'll get an edge rusher. Maybe this is all part of a master plan.
You and I can have all the theories in the world, and it doesn't make a difference.
And we will know on April 25th. Maybe it's part of a master plan. How do you see it, Bears fans?